I was 15 when ICE raided our building in Newark, New Jersey. They said they were rounding up illegals, but the moment their boots hit the basement, people didn't just get arrested or deported, they vanished. Completely. Like they'd never existed. When I tried to tell someone what I saw down there, they looked at me like I was crazy. That unit doesn't exist, they said. It never did. It started with the boots. Heavy, synchronized thuds shaking the stairwell of our old apartment building. I was half asleep, tangled in my sheets, when Mom burst into my room. Her face was pale, her eyes wild with fear. She didn't say much, just shoved a thick yellow envelope into my chest. It was heavy, stuffed with papers, our birth certificates, medical cards, everything that proved we were real. Go to the basement, she whispered in Spanish, her voice trembling. Hide. Don't talk. Don't move. I tried to ask, what about you? But she just pushed me toward the basement door, her hands cold and shaking. The boots were getting louder. The hallway light flickered, buzzing like a dying insect. The air smelled of old paint and rust, thick enough to choke on. I clutched the envelope and ran down the stairwell, my sneakers slapping against the concrete steps. The boots echoed above me, closer now. But when I reached the basement, everything went quiet. Too quiet. I whispered. Mom. No answer. Just the low hum of the furnace vibrating through the walls. Then I saw a door at the end of the hall I'd never noticed before. Unit B6. It didn't belong here. Unit B6 wasn't like the other storage units. The door was metal, thick, dented, and cracked open just enough to spill a faint blue light into the hall. It pulsed, slow and rhythmic, like a heartbeat. I stepped closer, my breath catching in my throat. Then I heard her voice, faint but unmistakable. Mijo. It was Mom, whispering from inside. They're not who they say they are. Don't let them see you. My heart pounded. I didn't know what she meant, but the fear in her voice was enough. I pushed the door open. The air inside Unit B6 was freezing, like stepping into a meat locker. My breath fogged in front of me. The walls weren't the usual cinder block, they were stone, old and blackened with soot, like something from a forgotten century. I turned to look back at the basement hallway, and my blood ran cold. An ICE agent stood in the doorway, mid-step, frozen like a statue. His eyes were blank, his body unnaturally still, as if time itself had stopped outside the room. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. Something was wrong here, very wrong. Inside, Unit B6 was empty. No boxes, no shelves, just a single wall covered in chalked names. Dozens, maybe hundreds, scrawled in shaky handwriting. Some had dates next to them: 1973, 1985, 2002, up to last week. My eyes scanned the list, and then I saw it. Mateo Morales, 2025. My name, my year. I hadn't written it. My hands shook as I stared, trying to make sense of it. Then I felt it, a hot, heavy breath on the back of my neck. Something was behind me. I spun around. In the corner of the room stood figures, faint, translucent, like ghosts caught in the blue light. Children in tattered clothes, parents clutching invisible hands, old men in work boots. Their eyes were pure white, their mouths sewn shut with shimmering thread. One stepped forward, a woman in a faded blouse. Her name tag read, Carmen Ruiz, detained 1997. She reached for me, her cold fingers brushing my hand. Suddenly, I remembered her Mrs. Ruiz, who used to bring us tamales when I was little. She'd disappeared years ago. Now she was here, trapped in this room. The door creaked behind me. Another ICE agent stepped inside. But he wasn't like the frozen one in the hall. This one moved wrong, his limbs too fluid. Like a puppet jerking on strings, his badge flickered, glitching like a broken screen, and his face blurred, shifting in and out of focus. "Return what was taken," he said, his voice a low growl that didn't sound human. "Or join them." His jaw unhinged, revealing rows of jagged teeth, too long for any mouth. I bolted, my heart slamming against my ribs. I stumbled through the basement, desperate for a way out. Behind the furnace, half hidden in the brick wall, I found it a circular door, sealed shut but warm to the touch, like it was alive. I fumbled with the envelope Mom gave me and found something I hadn't noticed before. A bone key, smooth and pulsing faintly in my hand. It felt wrong, but I didn't have a choice. I slid it into the lock. The door groaned open, revealing not a room but a tunnel, dark and endless. The tunnel wasn't just a passage, it was alive. The walls were damp, throbbing like flesh, and the air was thick with whispers in every language. Names floated past me, glowing faintly, then fading into the dark. And there, in the middle of it all, was Mom. She stood surrounded by shadows that clung to her like chains, her face pale but calm. "You opened it," she said softly. "Now you can't forget." Her eyes locked on mine, and I saw something in them, fear, but also a warning. The shadows tightened around her. I reached for her, but the shadows surged, pulling her back. "One out, one in," they hissed, their voices scraping inside my skull. The ICE agent stood at the tunnel's entrance, watching, waiting. I looked at the envelope again. Inside were our names, mine, Mom's, and one I didn't recognize. Miguel Morales, 1952. My grandfather. Mom never talked about him, but I knew he'd disappeared long before I was born. The shadows wanted a trade, and I was holding the price. I ran back through the tunnel, the walls pulsing faster, the whispers louder. I stumbled past the furnace, back to Unit B, to the whispering wall with its endless names. My hands shook as I pulled a match from my pocket and struck it. I held the flame to the envelope. The paper caught fire, and the names on the wall began to burn too. One by one, the shadows behind the wall screamed, a sound that tore through me. Just before the light went out, I saw Mom's face clear, free, smiling. The next morning, the building was quiet. No vans, no agents, no trace of the raid. Neighbors swore it never happened. Mom's room was empty, her bed untouched, like she'd never lived there. I showed the landlord her ID, but he just stared at me. "Kid, that apartment's been vacant for 6 years," he said. I checked my phone. My school records, nothing. No trace of her. No trace of us. It was like we'd been erased. I tried to move on, but nothing was the same. My name stopped showing up on school rosters. My reflection in the mirror blinked when I didn't. Some nights, I dreamed of that hallway, of Unit B6. In the dreams, I'm the one standing in the corner, my eyes white, my mouth sewn shut, waiting. I wake up sweating, my hands clutching at nothing, but I can still hear that heartbeat, that whisper, calling me back. They sealed the basement after that, pouring cement over the wall where Unit B6 used to be, but it doesn't matter. Some nights, I hear it, the heartbeat, the whisper, her voice. "Mijo, it's still there, waiting." I don't go near the basement anymore, but I know it's not gone. It's just waiting for the next name. Some people say ICE took their family, their neighbors, their lives. But I think ICE was just a mask. A new face for something older, something hungrier. It feeds on fear, on memory, on names. So if you hear those boots in the stairwell, if they come for you, don't run to the basement. Whatever's down there doesn't deport you. It erases you.